Hey everyone, this is Jordan with the Lost-Tribe Sabers, and I'm here today to go ahead and just give my first quick post-COVID update. This update is going to serve to kind of discuss, in a way, really just explain what happened to Lost-Tribe Sabers and me towards the beginning of COVID-19 and where I am now and how I'm going to be moving forward. But more than anything, this video is really just going to be used for the purpose of having a video catalog of the events of COVID-19 for future reference and such. Really, to go ahead and start, many know that I was absent for a while during the beginning of COVID. Now, of course, in hindsight, we can all look back and we can all really see what happened with COVID. We all know now how dangerous it was. The whole country closed down. But at the time, it was, you know, not so serious. It was really towards the beginning of COVID when I was afflicted. And at that point, no one, the state hadn't even closed down. It was like about another month till Massachusetts ended up shutting down. So when I got the virus, it was early in the country. I was one of the first few cases. I'm in Middlesex County, Massachusetts. And if you look at Middlesex County, Massachusetts, we have the highest rate in New England. I was one of those first cases to get the virus. So really, to go ahead and discuss what happened, we need to look at the importance of contingency plans and how I had lacked one. What I mean by that is if I were to fall off a cliff tomorrow and die, right now, I have someone who can go ahead and go on my page, can post an update about my condition, can go ahead, if my condition of dead, or if I was injured, can post an update about my condition, can contact my clients and discuss everything moving forward on my behalf. At the time, I had no such contingency plans. I was flying solo. When COVID hit, there was no one who had access to my page because I didn't have any contingency plans. One day I was there, and the next day I was not. I had stopped answering messages, I had not posted any updates about any sabers to any of my clients, and everyone was left wondering, well, what was going on? I had about 5-6 clients at the time, and, a lot of them I was in the progress of their sabers. Some of them I hadn't even opened the box because I got the box either when I was already afflicted with COVID or, only days before I ended up being sent to the ER. When you have a business like this or a hobby like this and you're flying solo, you put yourself and your clients at risk, of course. Now, I don't do this to make money. I do this for the love of sabers. So when my clients were put at risk, they reacted by reaching out to every known source to kind of discuss what was going on. When we go ahead and we look back, we can kind of see how, having someone there to explain the situation would have been so much more helpful than people groping blinds and trying to figure out why, wasn't this person responding. But COVID-19 affected about every business in the Saber community extremely negatively. Parts were out of stock for a while. A lot of businesses shut down, both they shut down temporarily, like me, I'm back up, or they shut down permanently. So moving forward, I have people who can go ahead and have access to my Facebook page in case I were to get into an accident, and they can reach out to my clients and discuss what's going on. Now, that's good, but, to kind of make everything better, we need to go ahead and discuss what it means to really operate the business. I charge a $150 flat rate for my service. It's a service fee that's due upon the completion of the saber. If I sell a pre-installed saber, then I'll sell it at full price, but my service fee, my $150 service fee, is the only money I make from doing any commissions. No matter how difficult or how expensive the commission is, I only charge the $150 service fee because I do this for the love of sabers. But I charge cost of parts up front. So if it's a good way to kind of balance the situation. Everything's clear cut. The cost of the parts, pretty much exact. That's what I charge, and then once the saber's complete, I do the service fee. And when we go ahead and we order the parts, we normally, I'll let my client either order them, I'll give them the price list and the part list, and they can place the order, or they can give me the funds to do it, and I'll place the order. When I finally got back in contact with my clients, I was hoping to go ahead and try doing some of the commissions, but I was still afflicted or, recovering. So I really wasn't able to. Another month, I think, had gone by, and, My workshop, I wasn't able to get access to it because when, uh, you know, Massachusetts closed up, they mandated all businesses close their doors. You're not going to a business to, you know, open up to do any work. Um, so when I had finally gotten back, I was able to go ahead and return all of my commissions. I returned every single one I had at the time, and I returned them with the full cost of parts. And in cases where we already ordered the parts for the commission, I returned them with the parts ordered, as well as adding the cost of parts to the return. So for a lot of my clients, I went ahead and I gave them back their saber, I gave them back the parts, and I gave them back the cost of parts, even if we had already spent the money on the parts. I paid that out of pocket. And I did that simply because I have been on the receiving end of lost promises in the Saber community. Um, the Saber community has a long history of being let down. If we look at some notables, I'm just going to mention two right now. Ken Hampton, having year-long waiting lists for his exquisite custom sabers, you know, and at that point in time, people spend so much money for a saber that's, a promise to come. It's not even being worked on a month after they pay for it. Or Jordan Mull. I had a commission with him, and that commission went unfulfilled. At the time, he had been taking on way too many commissions, and that seems to be the bane of the business, is people get so excited and they start taking on commissions more than they can, fulfill them. And to, look at that, we have to understand that us installers, we provide a service. That service depends on us, our health, and our ability to perform that service. It's not a product we're selling a service. So unlike if you were to go to the custom saber shop or KR Saber's website, or Seven Chambers, if you were to purchase a Seven Chambers Acolyte, sure, you might pre-order and then you're relying on the service of the Acolyte being produced, but if they have it in stock, you purchase it and they send it to you. In terms of installs as a service, it's an ongoing kind of product, and they pay my parts fee, and then they pay the install fee, and then with the service fee upon completion. But that completion time can be upwards of a month, and sometimes it can be upwards of 2 months, depending on how things are going. And that's just no good. That doesn't work well with a contingency plan. To have a contingency plan, you have to cut down as many variables as possible. So I'm cutting down on the number of commissions I'm accepting. I'm going to be only accepting 2, because since I don't do this to make money, I have no reason to accept 5, 10, or 15. I have no reason to accept even 3. I'm going to be accepting 2 commissions at a time. I'm going to be performing and, working and finishing the first commission, and then I'm going to cycle through to continue working on the second commission, and while I'm working on the second one, I'll accept a new one. Kind of like the rule of 2, there's one and then the other. There's the master and the apprentice. There's the master commission, which I'm going to finish first, and then the apprentice commission is going to jump into the place of the master commission, and then a new one's going to come along and fill the place of the apprentice commission. Just as an example for how the system will work. I'll go ahead and I'll accept 2 commissions at any time, and I'll finish the first of those accepted first. That cuts down on as many variables as possible, because it not only brings me to a closer relationship with my client, because I'm answering fewer questions, I'm, discussing the commission and dealing with commissions with fewer people. I now only have 2 people I'm working with at any given time. But it makes sure that in case another, COVID situation happens, if we get a rebound, if anything happens that requires this contingency plan, there is few variables as possible, as few people's sabers are being put on the line, and it's the safest way to do things. So I'm going to be accepting 2 commissions going forward. I'll keep it updated on my Facebook page, and that contingency plan is going to be put in place from here on out. I'm really hoping we don't get another COVID situation, but in the end, I really hold it as a personal failure to me. Of course, looking back in hindsight, I'm sure everyone can understand what I was going through, what everyone else was going through, what the world was going through. We can all understand if things fell behind at that point because of lead times or anything, And it was the best choice of mine to just close up shop and to just wait it out. Now, of course, I could have produced other content for my YouTube channel. Now, I need to notify everyone, YouTube isn't my hobby. My hobby is saber installations. So I use YouTube as a repository for all my information, for my videos, for my sabers, and information such as this. I made a post on my Facebook page, and this is essentially the video format of that post. This is here for reference. But from here on out, I'll also be producing some content on my YouTube channel, and the first of that content will be a Star Wars lore video on the mechanics of lightsabers as seen in Star Wars Legends. You guys can check out that video. It's on my channel now. I'm uploading it right after I upload this one. It's the mechanics of lightsabers as seen in Legends, and I'll be uploading future content like that, hopefully. And, you know, that's to kind of fill out the gaps I'm having in commission content and commission postings. Now, I do want to reiterate to everyone that this video isn't any sort of apology for what happened. You know, I'm not apologizing for COVID. I already discussed it with my clients whose sabers were on the line, you know, whose money I had. I've returned their money, I've returned their sabers, I've returned the parts, and that's all set. This video is just, you know, a reference for, you know, the future. If anyone, you know, goes to my, or if anyone's heard about Lost-Tribe Sabers, you know, or my previous name, Sith-Saber Props, I changed the name of the business right before I contracted COVID. It was very confusing, I'm sure, for everyone. And they're wondering, well, what happened? I heard that he wasn't here, or that he closed up shop or something. Well, you have this video to kind of use as reference. And that's the reason I made it. But I am hoping that going forward, well, no, I'm certain that going forward, business is going to be smooth. My contingency plan's going to, you know, be a good fail-safe in case anything happens, and I'm very excited to get back into the hobby. Now, I wasn't idle during COVID. Of course, I didn't have, you know, any commissions coming in, but there was a point where I was eventually generally recovered enough to go ahead and start working on props, and I wasn't working on lightsabers, so I started working on a full suit of Mandalorian Crusader armor, and I'll post videos on this as well. I have quite a few helmets, all of matching color schemes for the single suit, and once the suit is done, I'll post videos on that, but you can check out my Facebook page, Lost-Tribe Sabers, for any pictures of the suit or the helmet. It's work in progress pictures, and I'm excited to get working on everything again. I'm excited to start uploading lore videos. I've been thinking about it for years and years, and really I'm just excited to be back. So thank you guys for watching, and may the Force serve you well.